Der Munteren, der Muntert von sein Sad, redt der kurze Gabe weiter, als jeder Jid, was hat heim gedavent in der Besmetrisch und dort bekommen nach Hakofe und ein Aliyah zu der Teure, der Wissen, was in der Teure steht geschrieben. So I don't know the English. Der Muntert, made more happy.
Cheered up. Cheered up.
Encouraged by his group of supporters. The short Gabbai, that's the first Gabbai, continued that every Jew who davens in a synagogue and gets a hakafa and an aliyah to the Torah ought to understand what is written in the Torah. Und in der Torah steht geschrieben, als jüdische verheiratete Frau Torah nicht Chasen haben, also lang wie man weiß nicht auf sicher, als ihr Mann ist gestorben. And in the Torah is written that a married Jewish woman must not marry again so long as one doesn't know for certain that her husband has died, oder sie geget, or has divorced her. Actually, I don't think that's in the Torah directly. That's in the law codes and the Talmud and so on.
Yeah, okay.
Nur einem Ayiden hat sich verglust. Chasna haben davke mit an Agune. But one Jew, he's referring to Nachman here, got it into his, he had a desire to marry, particularly with an Agune. Und at dem Jiden hat es der Unterschamisch gegeben, tragende heilige Sefer Teure von der heiliger Wilner Stadtschau. And to this particular fellow, the second shamus had given to carry the holy scroll of the law from the holy Vilna city shul. Hat Rabbi Yoshe nicht gekannt vertragen, dem Chilul Hashem. Rabbi Yoshe was unable to bear this desecration of God's name. Und von Kass, abgetan a Narrigkeit. And out of anger, he had done a foolish thing. Reder Shames wird der Pfarrer der Munter Shames bezahlen, Knas, and then Ibrahim. And for that, the first Shames will pay a fine to the second Shames, and he'll make up with him. He'll be forgiven. Aber verstehen kommt ihm nicht. Rabbi Yoshe. Hat es getan für ein Coven von der Teure und für ein Coven von Wilner Stadtschau. But to be stoned, he doesn't deserve it, Rabbi Yoshe, because what he did was for the honor of the Torah and the honor of the Vilna city shul. Und ob Emetzer wird ihm schlagen, ist es akkurat wie der Schläger wollte herabgeworfen auf der Erde die Teure, was hat heimgetragen zur Kafes. And if anyone should hit him, beat him, it would be exactly as if the beater had tossed the Torah down on the ground, the Torah which he had carried today for the Hakafes, for the rounds. Außerdem hat Rabbi Yoshe a schwach Herz. Tomer rührt mit dem Ohren, fällt und starrt. Besides that, Rabbi Yoshe has a weak heart. And if someone should touch him, he might fall and die. Bei die Markjungen, die euch bei die Schrenim von die Ormelhäfen, nimmt ab das Loschen, und die Kleusjiden wischen sich die Augen wie die Jidenes. The market youngsters and also the neighbors of the poor little shul courtyards around, they took up this speech. And the Jews from those little synagogues wiped their eyes as if, just as women do. Die Kreuzjiden ringeln herum, die Gaboyim, und schreien, wir soll herausführen dem Eberschames. The Jews of the of the little synagogues surrounded the Gabbais, and they shouted out that they ought to bring out the head shamus. Whoever is going to even touch him will have to kill us first. The youngsters began to move back. Go and lose both this world and the world to come, just because of a second shamus. Gleich, as das is an eingegessen Jidel, a Yabednik. What is that?
I think a Yabednik.
Just looked that one up.
A quarrelsome person.
Oh, okay, thank you. I'm still going to open my dictionary here. Yeah, or an informer. They see immediately that this is a fellow who is eingegessen, stubborn, and he's a Yabednik, an informer or an argumentative person. On Nachal Netzura. Nachal, that's a good Slavic word. Nachal, he has an impertinent face. Wächst, wo man seht ihm nicht und kriegt in die Beine. He grows where you haven't put down any seed. And he crawls into your bones, and he's annoying. Marash, as man kriegt a patch. So what if someone got slapped? A patch, vergeht, and a wort, besteht. A slap disappears, but a word remains. Die Gabayim haben schon übergegeben in Stadtschol. Man soll herausführen Rabbi Yoshi. The Gabbais handed over the news into the city synagogue that they should bring out Rabbi Yoshi. Voraus geht der Stadtchasen, a Jid mit der breiter Gombe, im Hals reingezeugen in Kolner, aus Meure, soll nicht verkillen die eingestellte Sticklich, was hat heint nicht bewiesen anzusingen. First of all, in front came out the city cantor, a fellow with a broad, and a gombe is a chin, right? Yeah, with a wide chin. His throat wrapped in a collar out of fear that he might catch a cold, or he might cool off his arranged pieces of music, which today he didn't have a chance to sing. Arumim gehen die Mishorerim, jinglich mit mädelsche Sopranos, und alte versessene Bochrim mit Bassen. Around him, around the cantor, walked the choir folk, the choristers, little boys with sopranos, with girly sopranos, and older unwed, I think as far as Zessen here means, lads who have bass voices. Dennoch gehen Kinder mit verwähnter Pennemer und zerknetschte Simchas Terafanim. And after that come the children who have their tear-streaked faces and wrinkled Simchas Torah flags. I guess they never got a chance to celebrate as they wanted. In der Mehuma hat man gemacht a Chorben von sehr vornen. Und jetzt beweisen sie es für Schulheif. In the commotion, there had been a destruction of their flags, and now they show the flags in front of the courtyard of the synagogue. The Saf kommt heraus der Eberschames, herumgeringelt mit schönen Jiden. And at the end comes out the first Shamas, surrounded with the fine folk. Die Marktjungen seien gepläfft. The market youngsters are standing in wonder. Sie sehen, als ob der Reb Yoshe ist hoch und breit wie dem, mit der weißer Bord bis Gartel. They see that Reb Yoshe is tall and wide. Wide as an oak tree, with a white beard down to his belt. Chotch mahaltim unter die Hand, wir verchalischten, even though they are holding him in their hands as if he had fainted, guckt mit a paar finkeldicke Augen auf die Jungen, was haben ihm gestrascht. He looks with a pair of glowing eyes at the youngsters who had threatened him. Aber keinem von sie kommt nicht mehr auf den Sinnen, aufzuhebene Hand. But the thought of raising a hand against him came to no one's thought, arose in no one's mind. Dazu noch haben die Gabayim Reb Yoshe also herumgestellt, als ihm zu der Griechen wollte man bedarf treten auf Kinder und Zkenim. In addition, the Gabayim were so surrounding Reb Yoshe that even to reach him, you would have had to step on children and old folk. Es trug sich durch a gemurmel. A murmur passed through. Zet wie blass is. See how pale he is. Mislamach haben ihm die Chamuljes gesturchet in die Seiten. It must be that the Chamulis,
like the gang,
the ignoramuses, poked him in his sides. Die Hand soll sie abdachen. May their hands fall off, or wither away. Best die Gabayim haben sich bewiesen, ist der Unterschames verfallen geworden, sich versteckt zwischen ihnen. While the Gabayim were showing themselves, the second Shamas got lost. He hid himself among the crowd. Erst, wenn der Eber Shamas is showing beim Teuer von Scholheif. Only when the first Shamas had come to the gate of the synagogue yard, der Zetman, die Zalmenke kriegt ihm noch mit Achnoah. You could see that Zalmenke is creeping after him with submission. Wer wollt gechalisch da rein zu kriegen noch a patch, as if in a feint, lest he catch yet another slap.
I don't think it's as if he can't wait to get another beating. Zu essen jetzt.
Yeah, he was in a feint in order to. Yeah, perhaps. Wenn Reb Yoshe mit seiner Begleiter seinen Schein in Dreußen, when Reb Yoshe and those accompanying him were already outside, nimmt sich an der ausgerasierte jüngere Mannschik mit Mut. The shaved young man took himself with some courage, legt da rein in Moel, zwei Finger, he put 2 fingers in his mouth, and los daraus a schneidigen Pfeif, and lets out a whistle that cut through everything. And in that community, a whistle is a sign of derision. All right, enough for me.
Yeah. Yanke.
Okay. Hindele, wer anstimmt, warum wir drehen dir runter das Keppel, geben sich zu ihm a Wurf die Jungen. So this word Hindele, we've had it before.
I think it's the guy's name or his
Isn't
nickname.
it a name? Yeah, like a.
That's the young man, and they call him Chicken
Mm,
or Rooster.
okay,
Yeah.
Rooster. Wer dann stimmt. Keep, shut up, keep quiet. Otherwise, we'll twist your head off. Say the young men throw out at him, shout at him. Der junge Mann sieht, als kann da werden a Kapora für der durchgefallene Revolution. So the young man sees that he stands now to be a victim of this failed revolution. Nimmt sich zeitig ausrücken. So he begins to move away to one side. Der Eulam auf dem Schulhof wird schitterer, aber Redlen stehen noch lang und amperen sich wegen Rov, was hat Matir gewähnt an die Agune. The crowd in the shul yard becomes sparser. But circles of people still stand for a long time discussing about discussing the rabbi who permitted the Aguna to marry. Wegen ihr Mann dem Ships, and they discuss also about her husband, the sheep, und wegen beide Shamoshim von Stott Shul. And also about, they discuss the two shamases, the two beadles of the city Shul. Nur die Aguna allein der Mond man nicht, weil keiner kennt sie nicht. But the Aguna herself, they don't mention the Aguna herself because no one knows her. Okay. Moishke Zirulnik unterwit die Gas. Moshe Zirulnik incites the street. In die Orma Hafen und in die Gesslicher Rum Schulhof hat man nicht aufgehört reden wegen Patsch in der größeren Schul Simchas Torah beim Davenen. In the poor yards and in the little alleyways around the shul yard, they didn't stop talking about the slap in the big shul on Simchas Torah during the davening. Euch die Jungen von die Merk haben sich durchgeschmust auf sehr halbblatten Loschen. Also, the youngsters from the market continue to talk about in their half underworld language. Die Geschichte mit der Agune interessiert sie wie der fahrjährige Schnee. the story about the Agune, the chained wife, interests them as much as last year's snow. Sie haben schon gehört von schöneren Romanen. They've heard about much nicer romantic stories, love stories. Paris is a Hund gegen Vilna. Paris is a dog compared to Vilna. So Vilna has amazing romantic stories, much more than Paris. Then
I
other-
was wondering, over here, Shane doesn't mean nice. I think it's sarcastic. We have genre, kind of worse stories. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right. It is sarcastic. Yeah. Okay. Wenn alle balabeslich und weiblich wollten Rosh Hashanah zu Taschlich hereingeworfen in Wasser, ein Zehntel von seiner Averes, geht die Vilja Arois von die Bregen. So if all these little householders and their wives, if they would throw at Tashlich time their into the water a tenth of their transgressions, the river Vilia would overflow its banks.
It's pronounced Vilia.
Vilia, okay.
Vilia. It's a vocalic yud there. Vilia.
Vilia, okay.
So.
Die einzige Sache, was interessiert sei, haben geteilt die Jungen, ist die Kriegerei zwischen die Kleikoidisch. The only thing that interests them, they claimed, the youngsters claimed, is this fight between the Kleikoidisch, the religious functionaries.
Isn't this clergy? Like all this?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, okay.
same thing. The
Okay.
clergy.
Well, it includes also, a moil would be one of the clay kodesh. So it's not just the clergy. The chazan also.
In America, Chazan is clergy.
Good to know.
That's what they tell me in school. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Der
okay.
Eberschammes ist gesessen zwischen den Gaboyen wie ein Hund in Kropova und nicht gewollt erzählen Nachtol, hat gefrasket dem Unterschammes. So the main Shamus was sitting among the trustees like a dog in nettles. And he didn't want to tell them why he had slapped the second Shamus. Erst wenn hat eingesehen, als es halt dabei, man soll ihm heraustrogen in Leilicher, ist geworden weicher. Und der ganze Skandal ist geschwommen von oben. It was only when he saw that they wanted to carry him out in sheets. They wanted to set him off to the masses of people. He became Weichers. He became
Softer.
softer.
Mellower.
Mellower. Okay.
Sorry,
Mellow. He became mellow. Soft.
sorry, I didn't hear.
I suggested mellow.
Miller, okay. Yeah. And the whole scandal came out into the open. Ein Rov hat gesagt, als die Agune Mekchasne haben. One rabbi said that the Agune was allowed to get married. Die andere haben gesagt, als sie tornt, and the others said that she cannot. Und es ist umgegangen a stille Milchome zwischen eigenen. And there was a quiet battle between among them.
I'm wondering what does Arois Tagen and Lilacher carry out in bed sheets? There is the concept of a tartan lilac, a sheet that you use to cover or to carry perhaps a corpse, and maybe that's what it is. But when you thought they were going to carry him out dead,
In Tachrichim. The Lilacher is Tachrichim. No?
yeah.
Okay. Is mit was seien die Kleikoidisch besser von die zwei Ganovim Vereinen, der Bruder Zech und die Goldene Fond? So in what way is the clergy, the religious functionaries better than the two associations of thieves, the one called the Brothers Guild and the other one the Golden Flag? Die Ganovim stechen sich ashor ungut, nor kein seitiger tor nicht wissen, für was und für wen. Und das Gleiche ist zwischen die Rabbonim. So the thieves stab one another and everything's okay. But an outside person shouldn't know why and what for. And the same applies to the Rabbonim. Von deswegen wird der Skandal mit Aporteg früher oder später vergessen geworden. Nevertheless, the scandal would a few days earlier or later, it would have been forgotten. Wenn es mich nicht rein Moschke Zirulnik had Moshe Zirulnik not got involved, sind die Nähterin hat auf ihm aufgehoben ihr Presseisen, hat mehr nicht fantasiert, wie in die früheren Zeiten von Blois sie einbrechen. Since the seamstress lifted up her iron to Moshe Zirulnik, he no longer fantasized as he did in the earlier times that he would break her. Vernarren auf eine Nacht in Bett und noch dem Aroisleideren, that he would break her, he would seduce her one night in bed, and thereafter Aroisleideren he would throw out.
Toss away, exactly.
Toss her away, yeah. Jetzt hat gewollt der Leben na größere komma. And now he wanted to live to see a huge revenge. Nor had gar nicht gekannt tun, but he couldn't do anything. Von sein Chaver, Merrils Schwager, hat gehört, als sie hat Tage Chasne gehabt von Tuchle Idel, dem Feldgeier und Stubmaler. Und Heter haben gegeben alle Wilne Rabbonim. So he heard from his friend, Merrill's brother-in-law, that she had actually married to this musty Yidel, the musty Jew, the one who goes to the cemeteries and also is a house painter, and that all the Vilna rabbis had given permission for this. Los Zerois, as die Rabbonim haben nicht erlaubt, and it emerged that the rabbis had not given permission. Und die Golda hat Badei abgenarrt dem eigenen Mann. And the Golda had even deluded her own husband. Aber man soll sich nicht der wissendem Emes, so that nobody should know the truth.
Golda is Muriel's sister, so that's Golda's husband, who had told this fellow. And Badai is an unusual word. It means rather. Golda had rather fooled her.
Okay. Now, Oibazei is epis anders. If that's the case, it's a different. It's different. Ton tormenit nor opton megmen. One to do something you're not allowed, but to play tricks, that is that you're allowed to do. But Moschke sich gerieben die Hand und übergelost alle Geschäften. So he rubbed his hands together and he set aside all his business. Hat sich ausgeputzt in sein weiß-seidenem Halstuch, genommen in Hand dem Stecken mit der Beinener Galke und sich weggelost auf ein Spazier bei die Jatkes. He dressed himself up in his white silk tie or cravat. He took in his hand his stick with the bony ball handle, and he went for a walk to the butcher's. Okay.
Moishe.
Dank. Okay. Noch einen langen Jontef Sukkos und die Größe hat zuerst beim Einkaufen Fleisch zu die Sudas seien die Balabatas eingehaltener und bei die Yatkes ist Pust. After the long holiday of Sukkot and the large expenses, buying meat for the festival, for the festive meals, the ladies of the house were more restrained and things were empty, were kind of deserted at the butchers. Hinter die blech beschlagenen Tischen sitzen die Katzoftes mit vergollemte Plimmer. Behind the counters that are covered with tin, the female butchers sit with silly faces, call them,
Be the wives of the butchers, I assume, who are running the counters.
sorry,
The wives, the katsevtis, would not be female butchers, but would be the wives of the
the
butchers.
wives of, right,
They run the business.
were sitting with faces like golems, like
Clay-faced.
Obon. Und die Katzovim stehen verlangweiligte in Dreußen bei den Tieren, and the butchers stand bored outside at the doors. Katzov zet dem Cyrilnik, a butcher sees the Cyrilnik. Was hast du sich als ausgefrontet inmitten drinnen? Why have you dressed yourself up so fancily? In the meantime, du handelst nicht mehr auf dem Markt. You're not doing your business in the market anymore. Moritz quetscht mit die Achsel. Moritz shrugs his shoulders. Was für ein Handel und welcher Markt? What business and what market? Hat genug gehandelt und ist genug gesessen am alter Bocher. He has done enough business and he has been a single man long enough. Geht chasna hoben mit a goye. He's going to marry a Gentile woman. A gesunte Stücke, was hat an eigenem Volvat. A healthy female, I suppose, not flattering, has her own estate, via Grafina, like a duchess, und sie wird ihm abhitten wie ein Eugenkopf, and she will guard him like like an eye in her head. Sie geht aus nach seiner Tritt. She looks forward to his steps, schon jahrelang. She looks forward to him coming for a long time already. Nur hat als nicht gewollt, but he still hadn't wanted. Gemeint als man tor nicht. He thought that you're not allowed to. It's weiß as man meg. Now he knows that you are allowed to. Alle wissen, als Moritz ist
Let me interrupt you for a sec. This word Volvatic, it's a farm. So she has her own farm. So
Right.
yeah. And this one other thing, a stuka.
Right.
The word stuka usually means a trick. But here, yeah, it must be a derogatory term for a woman. I'll see. Did you look that one up?
I think I tried to look it up, but I couldn't find it.
Also couldn't find it.
Yeah, Stuka, I'm just looking in the Stitchkoff. He first under trick and Schachfigur, something from something in the game of chess, or Gute Stuka.
Oh, which chess piece is it?
Doesn't say. Yeah, apparently Stuka all has to do with games. So yeah, I don't know what it means in this particular case. It might be a Slavic word. I'll look
And
up.
I suspect it's derogatory, but anyway, I'm open to correction.
Yeah, it just means a piece in Russian.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay, where are we?
Olivason.
A piece in Hebrew is a beautiful woman.
Yeah, So it might be
Hebrew
similar here.
Aticha. Yeah. Yeah.
So everyone knows that Moritz is a liar and a boaster. Otschein chapt him ois a grafina von Appelbar, and now suddenly a countess with a farm, with an estate is grabbing him. Und deswegen will man bei die Jadkes wissen, in welcher Sefer Fraunig steht es geschrieben, als man meg chasna haben mit Agune. Nevertheless, the butchers want to know in which fantastic book it's written that one may get married to a Gentile woman.
Well, the Sefer Talmud, it's a humorous name for some book or other, a mythical book. Yeah.
A mythical book, a fantastic book. That's what the dictionary said. Fantastic. So fantasy derived from it's
Yes.
a fantasy. Yeah. Auf eine Frage hat Moritz gewahrt, wenn zerrät sich von wann weiß. Actually, Moritz was anticipating this question, and he discusses how the source of his knowledge. Von Kindheit onwards, from childhood onwards, he knows as an Agune kann nicht hassen haben, bis Menschen haben ihr Mann nicht ungetappt erteuten. Since childhood, he knew that an Agune could not get married until people have established that her husband is dead. Aber letztens tummelt sich in Stadt wegen Arav, was hat freigemacht, an Agune unbegleibter Edes. But recently, there's a furor in town about a rabbi who has freed an Agune without believable witnesses. Is Euben meg chasna hoben mit an eshet ish? If one is allowed to get married with a wife, meg man euch mit a goya, hence
An
one
Ashes is a married woman.
married woman, yeah.
A woman.
Okay. One may also marry a Gentile woman. Befrata sein Grafine ist gor a halbe Karai Imke und wird mit ihr Klassen haben beim Proker Chochem. And especially if his countess is a half Karaite, and they will get married at the Trocker wise man. And I assume that that is the Karaite equivalent of a rabbi.
Yeah, that's right. And there was a Karaite community not far from Vilna. There's actually something to this. You usually associate the Karaites with around the Mediterranean, especially in Egypt. But there was a Karaite community in Lithuania.
In a place called Truk, just near 10, 15 kilometers away from Vilna.
Okay. Have you been there?
No, but when I was in Vilna, I heard about this place, and I heard about the Karaites who lived there.
And they still live there?
There are still a few Karaites there, yes.
The story has it that when the rabbi was asked if the Karaites were Jewish, when the Nazis asked him, he very carefully said, no, they're not Jewish at all. And that saved them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting. As a frummer shortcut coiletin, Washmena, if a religious an acceptable slaughterer slaughters in Oshemna, Torman dos fleisch in Vilna niet essen. You're not allowed to eat the meat in Vilna, nor an eshetish megmanio, but someone's wife you're allowed to marry. Wie lang Moritz hat geredet wegen Agunes und Goyes, ob nicht hat so wem getracht, als haben Bilder Deiges. As long as Moritz was talking about Agunas and Gentile women, the butchers thought that they had more important, preferable worries, more important worries. Aber wenn nimmt reden wegen Oshman Fleisch, but when he starts talking about the meat from Oshman, sehen sie ein, als ist nicht umgerecht. They see that he is not wrong. Mit ein Jahr zurück, ein paar Jahre ago, wenn man hat von Oshman gebracht, dem größten Fleisch-transport, when they brought the large meat transport zu Vilna, haben die Vilna Rabbonim ausgerufen, man Isur auf Passal Putz. The Vilna rabbis forbade the use of meat that was coming from outside. Rab Levi Hurwitz, der Rav von Shlomo Kissenshof, ist herumgelaufen zwischen die Yadkas. Rabbi Levi Hurwitz, the rabbi from Shlomo Kissen's courtyard, ran around among the butchers und geschrien zu die Einkäufers and shouted at the women who were buying treifus. It's not kosher. Tap sign and treif, your pots will become treif. Oven sign and treif, your ovens will become treif. When you read alt dorten Reuswartman, you have to throw everything out. Alt, everything.
If I can interrupt, Ushman, there actually is a town, Ushman. It's in Belarus now. It's about 30, 40 miles southeast of Vilna. Now, why they would have made that rule that the slaughtered animals in Ushman are not allowed in Vilna, I don't understand, but apparently this did happen.
Yeah, I gather that this type of thing did happen and that it had to do with finance and keeping the money at home. Anyway, die Ballabostas haben sich erschrocken, the housewives were afraid, waren rausgeschrien from the rabbis shouting, und übergelost die Metzias von der Oshmener Schchita and left the bargains and left out the bargains from the meat that was slaughtered in Oshman. Die Katzobim haben geguckt auf den kurzen, beichigen Rov mit die Häusen über die Stiefel. The butchers looked at the short rabbi with a tummy and with his pants over the boots, gewollt von ihm losen Nassort und geschwiegen, wanted to leave probably wanted to demolish him, leave a wet space there, ungeschwiegen, and they were quiet. I stand open to correction here. Anyone have any other idea? Losen immer Nassort.
Yeah, I'm looking in Stichkov again, and I'm not finding anything that looks related to that.
Okay, thanks. Gehebt sich on mit der Torah, start a quarrel with the Torah, nor die Katzoftes mit die zerflammte Primer und verblutigte Hackmessers in die Hand, haben dem Rob nicht geschwiegen, but the butcher's wives with the flaming faces and bloodied chopping knives in the hands were not quiet for the rabbi. Uns wird hier nicht verboeben bis Meshuggah. You won't make us crazy with your howling. Wie euer Weib und Tochter, oh, very personal insult, like you've made your wife and daughter crazy. Mir will nach rein setzen in Meshugoimhuis, nicht ihr uns. We will put you in the lunatic asylum. You won't do that to us. Rab Levi ist das Blut entlaufen von ihm. Rabbi Levi's became pale. Face became pale. The Asweisvoice, it appears, euch von die Blut entlaufen von ihm und euch von die Füße. So the blood left his face and he seems his feet. Hat sich wackel getan. He staggered und aufgehoben die Augen zum Himmel and lifted his eyes to heaven. Gott soll sich vor ihm vornehmen. And God should take on his part when his koim weggekrochen von die Jatkas, and he hardly managed to creep away from the butcher's wives. Die Katzobim haben sich dermals abgetan bei die Keb und geschrien zu seiner Weiber. The butchers then took hold of their heads and shouted to their wives, as die große Meiler mögen sie hinter stehen für selber die Burim, that they should leave their mouths behind. They shouldn't. They should keep quiet. I think they should quiet their big mouths and stay away from saying such things. Jetzt sitzen die Katzobim bei seiner Blech verschlagene Tischen. Now the butcher's wives are standing at their tin-covered tables, gucken rüber zum Gesemmel von seinen Männern und triumphieren. Look at their the assembly of their husbands and triumphantly say, nu, was haben wir euch gesagt? So what did we tell you? Dem Skandal mit der Eshet ist nicht verschweigt. The scandal of this man's wife, he keeps quiet. Der Rav von Shlomo Kissenshof, the rabbi of Shlomo Kissenshof, und nicht in seine Sachen mischt sich ja, and doesn't mix in his business, but he mixes in business that is not his. Jetzt verstinkt unser Fleisch auf die Hockers und die Ballabostas gehen in Purim Yatka. Now our meat is rotting on the hooks, and the house and the ladies, the householder ladies, are going to the cheap butchers, while dort is billiger because it's cheaper there. Why it's called a Purim Yatka, I don't know. Does anyone know?
I'll see if I can find, but I don't know either.
Okay. Auf Emerson Trefers machen nicht die Rabbonim als Tummel wie auf reingeführten koscheren Fleisch. The rabbis don't make as much of a noise of an objection with treif meat as they do with meat that is brought in from outside, which is kosher. I think I stop there. Next, someone else take over.
Okay. Moritz halt mit die Katzeftes und lacht von seinen Männern. Die Lemmischkes. So Moritz is on the side of he agrees with the butcher's wives, and he makes fun of of their husbands. Lemeshke, something like stupid ones, idiots.
Naive people.
Okay, naive people. Okay. Die meisten mit der Agune und der Rauf und Schlomo Kissenshäuf verschwiegen, weil vor dem hat gekrogen gut bezahlt, bis vor hereingeführten Fleisch von Oschmene kriegt nicht bezahlt. The story with the chained wife, the rabbi from Shlomo Kissen's court, he kept quiet about that because for that he got very well paid, while for the meat that was brought from Oshmene, he doesn't get paid. Wenn is a Katzev, sagt Moritz, fährt morgen in a Städtel und bringt Fleisch. If he were a butcher, Moritz says, he would tomorrow travel to another town and he would bring meat. Tomer wollte ihm die Higerabonim gesagt, ein Wort, wollte sie geantwortet, red zu der Agune. If the local rabbis were to say one word, he would answer them, talk to the chained woman, the chained wife. לא מפריע זן, wie ihr ruft euch in Wilner Stadtschul, החרם bei schwarze Licht auf der Agune, wollte sie geantwortet. So let's first see how you are calling in the Vilna synagogue, you're calling a cherem, that's a cherem in English, forgot.
Ostracization.
That's what it is? Ostracization?
Ostracization. That's the closest I can come to it. Then
How about excommunication?
Yes, that's yeah.
it's
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah, excommunication. I cannot see now. All right. So let's let's excommunicate the chained wife. What does they geantwortet? He would answer them. Moritz spaziert weg weiter mit sein weißseidenem Halstuch und Stecken mit der Beinerner Gorke. So Moritz is walking away with his white tie, white silk tie, and his cane with the bony ball. Seine halbene fette Egelach schmelzen sich von Nachas und macht neue Pläne. His fatty eyes are shining, shining fatly from pleasure, and he's making now new plans. die Zkenim von Chevre Shomrei Shabbos haben abgehalten an der Seifa. The elders of the association, that the Shabbos Keepers Association, called for, conducted a conference. Was tut men? What can we do when they gehen über die Krofen, wenn sie gehen über die Kromen einzig weiß, treiben die Krämer sie heraus, is auf der, when they walk by themselves by the shops, the shopkeepers are driving them away. Is auf der Sefer geblieben, als von Eadstone und weiter soll man gehen über die Kromen Sorbetsend. So,
10 at a time, is Albert sent.
Sorbetsend. Yeah. So now it was decided in that meeting, in that conference, that from now on, they would pass by the stores, I guess, together. Or
Yeah, I think the idea here is that they try to keep Jewish storekeepers from opening their stores on Shabbos. But if they go in just one at a time, they get thrown out. But maybe if we go in with 10 people, we won't get thrown out.
I see. Okay. Wird man absiedeln und heraustreiben von Gewölb ein Schomer Shabbos nicht, wird sich reinstellen a zweiter. So when they curse and drive out of the store one Shomer Shabbos, then another one, the second one, would come and come there, stand there in front of them. A dritter, bis die Krämer wollen sich verschämen oder werden eingemattert und schließen die Geschäften. So a third one will come and stand there until the shopkeepers will start feeling bashful, ashamed, or they will just become tired from that, and they will close their stores. Die Chevre Shomer Shabbos, Shomrei Shabbos, hat genommen durchführen den Plan und gesehen Azerot Hatzloche. So this association of Shabbos keepers, they began to carry out this plan, and saw that this was successful. Es ist Freitag vor Nacht und in die Kleidlach ist aber Fall. It is Friday night. In the stores, there is like an attack. A Shomer Shabbos steckt rein dem Kopf in Tier und der Mond, es ist Zeit vermachen. The Shabbos keeper pushes his head inside the open door and is reminding that it is time to close the store. Geht euch, entfert der Krämer und weiß nicht welcher Baleboste entfernt früher. Go away. storekeeper answers him, and he doesn't know what which balabosta, that's lady housekeeper, to answer first.
Yeah, there are a lot of
I-
women who at the last minute, right before Shabbos, to buy stuff. So he doesn't know whom to serve first.
I see. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah. So, and Fern here is serving. He doesn't know which one to serve first. Okay,
So
thank you.
it says to
Yeah.
the guy, time to close. The storekeeper answers
Yeah.
him,
Yeah.
but then he doesn't know which one to. Yeah, Enferen is to answer here to serve. That's good.
Yeah, good. Thank you. I didn't see it. Okay, thank you. Alle men had ongespart in der letzter Minute. They're all stressed out in the last minute, und jeder von sie schreit, als der Top läuft ihr über. So, each one of them is yelling that her pot läuft ihr über. I don't understand. That she won't be able to cook.
I think it means that she's got to run home because the pot's already boiling.
And the Alleman had ongespart in der letzter Minute. Everyone crowded in at the last minute.
I think
Okay.
so.
Yeah, okay. Erst ein zweiter Shabbosnik hat reingestellt dem Kopf und heißt die Jidenes gehen Lichtmenschen. Warum über Chilul Shabbos brechen aus Sreifes? Here there came another head comes in, and he is telling the women to go and light candles because because of the desecration of the Shabbos, there are fires that fires
It can break
occur.
out.
Yeah, break out. Die Weiber werden unruhig. The women become restless. In dir schreit schon ein dritter Jid, als über Chilul Shabbos fallen on Chayes Roes und fressen auf kleine Kinder. So now, there by the door, there's already a third one who's yelling that because of the desecration of the Shabbos, come bad animals, and they devour little children. Der Herd als solche Rede, während die Einkäuferkes teut blas und die Verkäufers sehen, als die Lesung rinnt sie aus von zwischen die Finger. So when they hear such talk, the customers, where is it? Okay, the customers become deadly pale, and the salespeople see that the profit is running away, like from away from between their fingers. They're losing money. At Sandling Kramer laufen heraus in Reusen, guckt dann Halemai die Unschicknis von Gott von Gott Strapches is hein größer wie gewöhnlich. So about 10 shopkeepers are running outside to look whether whether this craziness about God's punishment is today bigger than it is usually. Auf die Kremer fällt a pachad. The shopkeepers start to feel frightened. Auf die Trottoiren von beiden Seiten Gas ziehen sich zwei Schures Shomrei Shabbosnikes. On the sidewalks of both sides of the street, there are now, they are stretching 2 lines of Shabbos keepers. Wie die Bettler, wenn sie gehen über die Häuser machnusweis, just like the way the beggars stand like this in lines when they go to beg to the houses in all together in groups.
Sorry, can I just interrupt? I
Yeah.
just looked up God's structures, and the translation is either fanatics or hypocrites. God's structures. It goes together, God's structures.
Thank you. I didn't even see. I read it differently. I didn't see the way. I didn't see the way it's written. Thank you. I thought it was Strashes.
Strapce is by itself a policeman, but God's Strapce is ironic. God's policeman, which is hypocritical, or it could be a
Okay.
zealot.
Okay.